You are now tuned into ChiChat Podcast, where four women come together to encourage, inform, and inspire women by creating a dialogue that develops strong sisterhood and friendship. Around the table is Yolanda, Ebony, Katrina, and Breonna. Okay, now it's time for some ChiChat.
Hey everybody, we're back with the Chit Chat. So happy to see you all. Hey ladies.
Hey.
Hello.
So today we actually got a special guest. It's Miss Kathy Young of Polish Her Crown, a self-acceptance studio for women. She is a self-acceptance coach, certified fitness instructor, and certified Pound Pro instructor. She goes on to say her passion is helping build up women's self-esteem so they feel confident from the inside out and achieve their fitness goals in a healthy way. So the Chit Chat Podcast is happy to have you with us today because we're all about self-care, we're all about self-acceptance and just tranquility and love. So thank you, Miss Kathy Young, for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
So when we get our episode started, we always start off with a chit check-in, which is how we scale or how we're feeling on a 1 to 5. Today, I'm feeling a 5. I got this fiery hair too, so I'm on 5, baby. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to Ebony. How you feeling?
I'm a 5 today. I'm about to get my iced coffee. It's Saturday. The weather is nice. We about to grill out today, so I'm happy.
I have to go to Greenville after this.
Okay.
All right. Yolanda, how about you?
At a good 5, feeling great. Good
I
5.
see that sunshine on your chest, honey.
Yeah.
Katrina, what you feeling?
I'm a 4. I'm not quite at a 5 yet, but like you like to say, a 4 rising.
There you go. Miss Kathy, what about you?
You know, I would say that I'm at a 4, but you guys are rising me up, so.
See? That's what we like to do.
It's contagious.
Awesome. So my first question for you before we get into the open dialogue is just what got you started and just how are you feeling first of all right now because you're in Canada. So if you want to give us a breakdown of how you're feeling and just how you got started as a self-acceptance coach overall.
So, you know, right now I'm feeling kind of, you know, a mix of emotions because I'm frustrated with what's going on within, you know, my own city and with what's going on in the world today. But I'm also having a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't be getting. So I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm still a little bit frustrated. And as far as how I became a self-acceptance coach, you know, I've always struggled since I was a little girl around the age of 5 or 6 with my appearance. And it started off with my face. I had like a issue with my chin that made my chin slant out, suck my thumb. And so I had buck teeth and I was never able to close my mouth. And so I was always very self-conscious of my face. And I share a story about getting on the school bus one day and catching a glimpse of my reflection in the school bus window and feeling paralyzed, frozen with fear at the sight of my own reflection. And it was a huge pivotal moment in my life where everything I was saying to myself was just cemented in my mind. And I felt if I just held still, if I didn't talk, didn't move, people wouldn't notice me. And so that's how I led my life. And then at the age of 15, I always say that my body betrayed me. I don't say that anymore because I think it's a very, very dangerous thing to say to yourself. But you know, my body was so stressed that I started having these seizures. And so whenever I would get up out of a seated position or try taking a step forward, I would have a seizure. And so it was very visual and it affected my face. It was so visual. And so my face would haul over to the side and my hand would curl all up and it would just hold me. It didn't hurt, but it was something that I knew I couldn't allow people to see me have because I knew that it wasn't something that people would accept. And battled with that at the age of 18. Brought my first kid home from the hospital. And I was watching TV and an exercise show came on. And I thought to myself, I would love to be able to just move my body like that. And so I tried the workout, and I made it through an entire workout without having a seizure, which was a big deal. So I realized that exercise is one of the ways that I could be free of my condition for a few minutes out of the day, start my day in a positive way. And then, in my 20s, it became a struggle with all of me, because then I realized I could use fitness to make myself look a certain way and, face the world every day. So in my 20s, I took a lot of programs to help with my self-esteem. I never used the tools that were given to me. And there I was in my 30s, still struggling. I was going back to school a second time to study a field I had no interest in. And I always clamped on to my family. And so they had this big idea to start this business. And I thought, well, you know what? I will never have to leave my home. I would never have to face people. And so I went back to school, and I really battled at some point there, and I had a hard time leaving my home for about 2 days. I was almost housebound because of how I felt about myself. And so I ended up having to go and get myself some help. And I knew it was my last chance. Here I was in my 30s, mom of 3 kids. And I thought, I need to go back to another self-esteem course, use the tools that were given to me, and really push, because the one goal that I've always had in my life was to be able to take care of my kids, because this has affected every aspect of my life. And so I went back, and I went to another self-esteem program. And I should scale back a little bit, because when I went to a self-esteem program, I think it was the second time, because I've been to many, and the facilitator said to me, she's like, you have to stop thinking about your seizures. And for some reason, I don't know how, I was able to listen to her. And for an entire week, I didn't have a single seizure. And then, of course, I fell back into my same old patterns, and I started having seizures again. So I knew in some ways that I was contributing to my condition. And, throughout my life, I've always pushed to face my triggers. And so I've been seizure-free for 9 years now. And no medication needed, nothing. And so after battling to leave my home, I pushed on. I went to a leadership program, and they gave me lots of opportunities to challenge myself and see my skills and my abilities and start sharing my story. And I talked about my love of fitness. And so they offered me my fitness certification so I could teach to the participants of the same leadership program that I took. And so scared, but I did it. And then I was looking for something different that I could bring to the women in my city. And I chose my cardio drumming class. And so that's how I got started.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
It's powerful.
I'm going to pass it to another lady. Katrina, you want to add to it?
Sure.
Well, I just wanted to ask her, so, because my mother, she was in her, I think, late 20s. She just randomly started having seizures.
Oh my goodness.
And she went to doctor after doctor, never really diagnosed like what caused it. But she went through years and years, and she only had seizures while she was asleep. It never happened while she was awake. But she went through years and years and years of having to be on medications that really it wasn't a good quality of life, because it made her drowsy, or it was to the point where she basically couldn't do a lot. Because she was always like too sleepy or too tired, or it was never good for her. So she just one day said that she asked God for healing, and she stopped taking her meds. And we didn't even know she had stopped taking her medicine for like a year, but it's been like, I know, over 5 or 6 years probably more than that she hasn't had any seizures yet.
Good for her.
Awesome.
But she claims a healing, and I believe her because I know that before, like, she tried to stop taking her medicine one time before, and it didn't do, like, she really could not go without it.
Mm-hmm.
So this time, it's been like, I know it's gotta, I'm thinking
the Lord, absolutely.
about 9 to 10 years, but they never really found out why she was having seizures.
They never know. They can never tell you. There's no help, really. There's no help out there for people, like there's just no help. So you kind of have to figure things out for yourself. You really do. And you know what? And that's another thing too. My strength to be able to push through that, it came from God, and I have to humble myself sometimes and remember to say that, because I would not be where I am today if I did not have the strength that I was given from the Lord. There's just no way, because I battled at such a young age, and to be able to overcome, it's a miracle.
And that's what my mom says, that if it wasn't for God, she don't know how we as a family would have gotten through it, because it was really hard on, because we were the one, like, my dad worked during the day, and so we were a lot younger, and so when we were at home with her during the day, we were always scared for her to go to sleep because we didn't know what was going to happen. And so we had to go through training and stuff to know what to do if she did go to sleep. And it was really, at a young age like that, was really scary, especially the first time I saw it. I didn't know what was going on. Like, when I first saw it, I really thought she was, because I was so young, I thought she was just laying there playing with me. And I started licking my tongue out at her. And when I saw blood, I was like, oh my God, something's wrong with Mama. And so I had to run and get help because I didn't know what was going on. And then when we started to get older and stuff, is when we found out, it's seizures, and this is how we have to take care of it. And so it was a scary time. And so if it hadn't have been for God on our side, you're right. I don't know how we would have gotten through that. It was really
there's so
tough.
many people going through so much stuff. It's unbelievable. Like, things that you wouldn't believe. It's just unbelievable. Can I ask you a question? Every time she had a seizure, does she bleed?
She used to bite her tongue. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. And we had to be taught to know how to, even through our scaredness, get her on the side so that she wouldn't choke or swallow her tongue.
Land.
It was every single time she had a seizure, she would always bite her tongue really bad. And have the convulsions that come along with it. So it was scary and pretty bad. And I thank God that He has healed her.
That she's healed. Yeah. Land. Well, thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah. Testimony, because she loves to tell it. So I don't think she was here.
That's good. That's good to hear that overcomer story, and like for you and Katrina to be able to, like, for you going through it, and then for Katrina giving her perspective of being a family member going through it. That's another question I wanted to add to it. Like, while you were pregnant, it just kind of hit me. Like, were you having seizures even then? Like, during the pregnancy, would you get up or how was that time frame?
It's funny, you know what? I would probably would have taken medication at that time to make sure that I didn't. I really don't even remember. That's such a good question. Because, and two, weight would always kind of help ward off my seizures. And that's one thing that I found out too. Like, people call me bag lady because I would go with all these great big heavy bags on my body so that my seizure wouldn't be so bad, because I realized that weight kept my seizures from being so bad.
Ooh, yeah. So intense and like, it would be less of so I wouldn't be hauled over and all that kind of stuff. Right. Understand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it to Ebony.
So I'm sitting here listening to you all talking, and I couldn't really think of a question, but I just wanted to share, like, a health situation that I had going on. I was diagnosed with migraines when I was 17. And they were pretty bad. They pretty much presented symptoms of a stroke. I would have like the auras. I couldn't see. It literally was like tunnel vision. So I couldn't see around my peripheral vision. And even now to this day, like, it has damaged it somewhat because of the migraines that I've had. And I started to go numb. The first time I went numb, I remember I was so scared because I literally thought I was dying. And my husband, he was at work. I called 911. And, I just told him, I told the lady, I was like, I think I'm dying. And she was like, you're not dying. She was like, she started asking me questions. And they told when I finally ended up going back to seeing a neurologist in the hospital and, following up with my doctor, they told me that they were called cluster migraines. And I started, and I was having about 15 headache days a month. It was terrible. I could barely see anything, and me and my husband, we had just moved out on our own and, just trying to work and pay bills and stuff. And just, that stressed me out even more because I felt like I was limited to what I could do, especially just moving out on my own. And so, finally, some years later, I kept dealing with it, taking the medicines, doing everything they told me to do. And I told my husband, I was like, I really feel like I need to do something, like, to cleanse my body. Like, I need to take better care of myself because it's medicine. Yeah, it takes a little bit for it to work, but it eases it, but it don't completely take the pain away. And then, with the side effects from the medicine, I would have like jaw pain, like literally feel like someone was like prying my jaw open, like with a screwdriver or something. Like, it was so much pain. And I told him, I said, I think I'm gonna start, working out. And he was like, well, that's a good thing. Like, just, see what happens. And as I started working out, the less and less I was having headaches until today. Like, now I rarely have a headache. It's like here and there. And I think it might be contributed maybe to like the weather. Like, the weather here in North Carolina is like drastic change. It can be 60 today and like 100 degrees tomorrow. So when it does that, sometimes here and there I might have one, but they're nowhere as bad as they used to be. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you.
I'm glad that you don't have them like that anymore. Yeah, you've overcome that. My land.
Yolanda, what you thinking?
Just incredible strength. I'm witnessing just incredible strength within women. It's just the strength within us. And so I thank you all for sharing your stories, and it just proves that we as women got it going on. The strength. Yes,
we're powerful.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So with your Polish a Crown, do you do like mentorship as well? Since you're a self-acceptance coach, do you do that part too?
I don't do mentorship. I do self-esteem coaching. So I do like one-on-one coaching with people, and I add coaching with the fitness. So that's a big part of it, the drumming and working out, because to me it's mind and body that you need to focus on to be a healthy person.
Right.
Yeah. What about your wake up routine? Like, did you work out before you got on this call?
I actually did go for a walk. I did go for a walk. I didn't work out, but usually I'm up around 5 or 6 o'clock. I like to get up and before my kids get up. And I consider that my time. I'll go for a walk and then I'll come back and I'll do my workout, and that's me time. And I need that time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Did you have anything else you would like to share with us, Miss Kathy, about your program or what you got coming up next?
You know what? I've been doing challenges, so I guess I'll mention that. In July, around July 22nd, I'm going to be doing another challenge. And if people are interested, they can find me on Facebook under Kathy's Queens. And yeah.
So we're going to do a workout challenge, a drumming challenge?
A workout challenge.
Okay. All right. Y'all heard it here. Queens workout. So get with it. Queens workout with Kathy.
You know, Kathy, I love the way you turn how you felt about yourself before into such positivity. I mean, it's just it's wonderful how you just change it all around, and it shows other women that, hey, if Miss Kathy has done it, then we all can do it. And so I want to thank you for and for being that person who says, hey, I'm in control here. You know, so I just want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you. And absolutely, we all have the ability to own our own power. And I believe that we're given everything that we need to make those changes in our life. People just need to learn to get started.
That's right. Yes. I thank you for that. That's wonderful.
Welcome.
Yeah, this was such a good conversation. You know, you just bring such a piece about what you went through. You know what I mean? Like, it's just you bring a calming in the conversation. So I want you to know.
Thank you.
It's really cool just to hear how, you know, you're a mom and you experience such a type of situation where you really had no control over it, but you gave that control back to God, yet you also use your own personal abilities to step out and do better. And now you have the results of 9 years, right? No seizures? So that's
correct.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I pray to have 9 more times 50 times 100, no more.
Well, thank you.
So we're going to switch it up a little. What'd you say, Yolanda?
I'm just saying that just looking at Ebony, Katrina, and Miss Kathy's stories is just incredible. It's just, you know, I'm looking like, wow. Yeah, Katrina, as far as you know, I lost my mom, and so it's wonderful to hear a daughter talking about how strong her mother is, and how, you know, and then Ebony with her headache, she took power and took control, you know, and said, hey, I'm not doing this.
That's
and
right.
So I just love it. I just love
thank you.
Power. Yes.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. It really does take a lot of strength. It really does.
Yeah.
A lot of strength to get to the point where you don't want to have a situation like hinder you. And just briefly going back to what Miss Kathy was talking about as far as like how she viewed herself like earlier in her life. I've too had an issue, Miss Kathy, you probably can tell by my beautiful eyes, but I have a lazy eye, and that hindered me for a long time, like in my life, especially in my earlier life, because, you know, kids are mean. They say mean things, and you know, when kids would say stuff, it made me feel like, oh, this is all I am. This is all I'm worth. So for a long time, I wouldn't even look in the mirror because I'm like, I got a lazy eye. Like, I could not stand it. Like, it was just like everything associated with it. Like, I absolutely hated it. Until one day, and I wish I could find this lady. I don't know where she is, but if you are listening, if you just happen to run across this video, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about, because I'm about to tell y'all this story really quick. I was shopping with my mom, and we were in Rainbow. We had a store here called Rainbow in the mall, and I was shopping with my mom, and I was looking down. My mom went to the counter. She was paying for my stuff, and the girl was just telling her, she was like, oh, your daughter is so pretty. And, you know, I was still looking down, didn't look up at her at all when she said that. My mom was like, yeah, she was like, I tell her that all the time, but she never, you know, wants to look at anybody in the face because she has a lazy eye. And the girl was like, oh, she was like, that's nothing. She was like, that's beautiful. She said, look at me. I got 2 lazy eyes. And I never forget, I looked up at her, and I was like, from that day forward, I was like, I'm not looking down anymore, ever anymore again. So,
good for you. And you're gorgeous. My land. You're beautiful looking.
So much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
My land. I think it's hard. It's harder for women of color. Like, it really is, to see the beauty in themselves, because there's a lot that has been done to make us feel like we are not beautiful. There's so much that has been done. So I don't want to get crying.
I know. It's like your childhood experiences could almost paralyze the fact that you are a beautiful woman. You are a strong woman. And things have happened even for me, you know, with weight and things like that. I can honestly tell you the pillow was literally filled with the tears, filled with the anguish of just what people would say. But I'm just glad to be able to stand here, well, I'm sitting now, and be able to say, like, God has really helped me to say, you know what? I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. He said in his word, and that's what we are. And so it's awesome to just see, look at all this melanin on this screen here today. So y'all need to know that melanin is beautiful and it's powerful, it's strong, and it is. I'm giving y'all all the words for the end. Let me stop. Oh, well, that's a great transition to shout out our sister girl of the week, Lizzo, because she herself, I'm going to show you, is somebody who is all about self-acceptance and just owning who you are. And she did a TikTok that basically showed everybody, like, whether I work out, whether I sit around and eat McDonald's, where my specialty is Chick-fil-A, it doesn't matter because I am who I am. I stand in my own right. I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. And so get with it. And like we said on our other episode with B. Simone voice, baby girl, accept this. So we'll put that link in the bio if y'all want to see her TikTok, Lizzo's TikTok. But yeah, she's our sister girl of the week. So guys, you know how we do. What is the word of the week? My word of the week is own. Own who you are. Own your strength. Own it, honey, because it's who God made you to be. I'm going to pass it to Miss Kathy. What's your word of the week?
I say my word of the week is beautiful, because we're all beautiful in our own way. And I'm not talking about that superficial kind of beauty that everybody seems to think that people talk about when we say that people are beautiful. We all have beauty within us. And I think it's our capabilities, our qualities, and our characteristics that make us beautiful. So that's what I think that we should focus on as women.
Awesome. What about you, Katrina?
You both took my words. So I'm gonna go along the lines of acceptance. So like Breonna said, accept who you are, be who you are, do what you do, and be great at it. Acceptance.
What about you, Yolanda?
Power. Oh yes, baby, the power is strong within you. You just have to know it. Once you realize it, then you got it going on all for you. So realize that power.
Yeah. And Ebony?
I'm gonna go with care this week. Handle yourself with care. Handle other people with care, because you don't know what other people are going through. So care.
Yes. Y'all heard it here first. You need to accept, own, walk in your beautifulness. Handle people with care and know that you have power. This has been a ChiChat episode. Thank you, Miss Kathy, for joining us.
You're welcome, and thank you.
All right, we'll chat with y'all later. Peace.
Bye.
Hey.
Thanks for listening to our episode of ChiChat. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at ChiChat Podcast.